All right, guys, Dr. Dex here. Welcome to the Dr. Dex podcast. This week, I am with a real, authentic Viking. His name is Kevin Haney. He owns Haney Construction. He's also known as the Handsome Viking. I like your pencil pull, bro.
Yo, man.
Where'd you get that?
So I won some Instagram contest 3 or 4 years ago, and this dude from Tacoma, Washington sent it to me.
Nice. Kevin Haney, welcome. Thank you for joining us today. I know it's been a little bit stressful getting to this point, and we're a little bit more limited on our time frame, but that's okay. We're working from the job site, and I know that you're on your job site. You just came inside just to have this quick and dirty podcast with us. So thank you for that, Kevin. Normally when we start, tell me a little bit about you and your business and all that, and then we're going to go back a few years and then move forward from there.
All right. So about me, I never wanted to leave school. I studied every field of engineering possible until one day. So my parents paid for my schooling, and one day my father called me and said, "Hey, Kev, did you get a scholarship that I don't know about?" This was either my I think it was during my fifth year. I said, "No, I didn't." He said, "Would you please pick a field of engineering and just graduate? And then when you go to graduate school, let somebody else pay for it." I was recruited by a bunch of different schools for strength events. I threw the discus, the shot put, javelin, and hammer. And hammer was only legal at the time. Was only legal in 2 states. One was Rhode Island. I'm from New Hampshire. One was Rhode Island, and one was Texas. I was really good at those, so I was recruited from a lot of different places. But I chose University of New Hampshire because their engineering school was the best one that there is. I ended up falling in love with, so I had 2 knee surgeries my freshman year. I ended up falling in love with sailing, so I sailed, and that's one of the reasons why I ended up going to 19 different countries when I was still in college.
Wow.
Because I had a certain skill set, and I always had a way to volunteer to help a crew do something.
That's cool.
So, didn't want to be an indoor kid. I really don't like being inside. So,
But you're suffering right now.
No, I'm not suffering right now. I mean, current injuries. No, I'm not suffering, dude. My friend asked me to be on his podcast, and I'm going to be on his podcast. So no, I'm not suffering. I don't like messing around with freaking computers. Even though that's one of the things I studied, I have not kept up on that.
Oh boy.
So okay. So let's hold on a second. So your name is Kevin Haney. You currently own Haney Construction. You're a deck builder. You're a deck builder?
That's what I want to be. I want to only do deck building. I'm really good at lifting and moving houses and solving everything that's wrong with a lot of stuff. Like, I'm a building science nerd. I that's what I read on a regular basis. Journal of Light Construction. But cool. I don't want to be. I don't want to do anything other than build cool outdoor spaces. Cool. But I'm asked to do other stuff, so sometimes I have to do that.
So, like, you'll build a house if you need to, or a remodel, or a kitchen, or a bathroom, or.
I can. I don't want to, and I try turning that down as much as possible. It's been several years since I've done that, but
okay.
A good friend of mine just asked me to help him shore up a house that he discovered was falling down.
Oh.
So we shored that up, and I'm going to help him reframe part of a house once this project is done.
Cool.
I don't want to, but he's an awesome dude, and it's a great homeowner, great homeowners. So of course I'm gonna do that.
So I want to get a little bit of backstory from you. I always do that with my guests if possible, is like talk a little bit about childhood, junior high, high school. You said strength and all that. So like, what was your childhood like growing up? And you said you grew up in New Hampshire?
I grew up in New Hampshire. I'm the second of 4 sons. We initially, for the first 9 or 10 years of my life, we dialed 5 numbers on the telephone because it's such a small town that we didn't have to dial the first 2 numbers, let alone 10 numbers.
Oh,
so we would dial.
Oh, okay.
We also had the big rotary phone.
The rotary phone. Okay.
So
we're really
no
going
cable
back.
or any of that kind of stuff. We grew vegetables. We raised animals, and it was cool. Like we would just go out on a bicycle and go see our friends somewhere, and at some point, get back home. It was to get to junior high school was really about an hour to get there.
Wow.
Unless my older brother drove, in which case maybe it was a little bit less than an hour.
So did you do any sports, or were you always academically inclined even as a youth?
So I have 14 varsity letters.
Nice.
And I think I might be the only person ever to have that, and I don't think anyone will ever have that at my school. I was on the varsity ski team in 7th grade. Varsity letters in alpine skiing, soccer, track and field. Also hold a record that I hope no one will ever break. I was thrown out of 8 homecoming games because we played a homecoming game at our school, and then at like our rival Winnisquam, and I was thrown out of all 4 of ours and all 4 of theirs. Hopefully no one else does that because that was stupid.
Wait, so was this in football?
No, man, we didn't have football, so I played soccer.
Oh, soccer. Okay. Well, you can do a lot of damage in that sport too, man.
Yeah, so hopefully nobody ever does that because that was really stupid. But
so you're a pretty big dude. So is your entire brotherhood, all your family, are you guys all big?
I'm not the biggest.
You're not. Oh man, I find that hard to believe. That's amazing.
Jason, I don't stand out in my family. No.
Oh wow.
2 of my brothers are an inch or 2 shorter than me. My father is 2 inches shorter than me. Excuse me. One of my younger brothers.
Now, I met one of your younger brothers, right?
Yeah, you met Michael.
We had dinner together. Yeah.
Yep. He's special forces. Sorry, no longer special forces. He is a quiet gentleman that the rest of he's the youngest. He's the one that we're all like, oh nope. He's a quiet gentleman, but he's the one that we all know means the most business.
Nice.
So no, my one of my younger brothers works with me from time to time, and he's 5 inches taller than me.
Wow. How tall are you?
I'm only 6'4".
Only.
Okay. So you're in high school. You're major athlete. Your studies, I assume, are excellent as well. Are you running a 4.0 GPA?
Yeah. So all 4 of us never missed a single day of school. from kindergarten through 12th grade. None of the four of us ever, including going through chicken pox and the flu and that kind of stuff, none of us ever missed a day of school, which was like a pain in the butt at the time, but we always...
Don't you get a special award for that or something from the school?
Yeah, we all did.
Nice. I never got one of those.
Me neither.
No, because you were like hanging out and chasing Kiki around. And
man, I was skipping class like crazy.
You were trying to find a cool chick and you found one.
What I did was I sweet talked the office girl to put my name on the excuse to be able to write your own notes in high school. You had to be 18. I wasn't 18, but I got her to put my name on the list. So I decided to test it out the next day. So I wrote myself a letter to let me out of class and handed it over to the girl. And the elder, she checks my name against the list and I'm on there. So she said, "Okay, you're excused at noon." I'm like, "Sweet." So that's when it started. Okay, so back to Haney. So, dude, you're in high school. You're kicking butt and taking names. And are you a college guy? Did you go to college? Well, you said you were talking about it. So, yeah, you did, right?
I wasn't kicking butt and taking names. I was kicking names and taking.
Okay, pretty much.
But yeah, so yeah, I did go to college, to the University of New Hampshire in the College of Engineering and Physical Sciences.
Yeah, man. So crazy. So you were into structural engineering as well as all different types, or what was your passion?
So at the time they only had 6 disciplines of engineering, and I got bored with each and couldn't figure out which one I liked the most. So I studied all of them, which is why I was there for so long.
How long were you there for?
6 years.
Okay. Cool. Thanks, Mom and Dad. So
no
did you
kidding.
end up...
That's why after 5 years, my dad called me and said, "Kev, did you get a scholarship that I don't know about? Because
I can't afford
pick
this.
something and graduate."
So did you? Did you pick something?
I did, and in my the summer before I graduated, I went to Mexico and took 12 credits, including 8 graduate credits, and then my final semester, rather than taking 16 credits, I took 24, which was 7 classes, including a couple that were only 3 credits or 1 credit for labs, and made it happen. As soon as Dad said, so my dad is a doctor, so when I say doc, that's what I mean. As soon as Pops said, "Dude, just pick something, and when you go to graduate school, let them pay for it," because I told you could have 2 years and then 4 years. We're coming up on 6. Pick something. Like, all right. Yep.
Got it. And what'd you pick?
I picked, I love earth science. I love oceanography, ocean engineering. Man, I'm gonna have to look back at my diploma and see what it actually says. But I studied every discipline that University of New Hampshire College of Engineering or Physical Science offers. I have 2 to 3 years in all of them, and a lot of the classes overlap. Plus, I took things that weren't required, like business classes and economics classes and languages. When I was a super young kid and growing up, so we're almost the same age, but not quite. I was born in the very, very, very end of the 70s, 1978, on the winter solstice, because Odin loves me. So of course I was born on the winter solstice.
Cool.
So my father came back from, every year he would go to the Alps, and one year when the Iron Curtain was still there, he skied in the wrong direction and ended up on the wrong side of the Iron Curtain. So he and his friend had to hike up for 5.5 hours to get to the right side of a fall line to end up on the correct side where they were allowed to be. He came back and he said, man, if you can speak English, French, Spanish, and German, you can go anywhere in the world you want to go. At the time, this was before like Mandarin was the language you should also know. So I'm like, all right, I'm 7 or 8. I speak English. So the first thing that I learned when I went to high school, he said English, French, Spanish, German. So I learned French next, and then Spanish, which was easier because of knowing French, and then German. It turns out that Portuguese and Italian are pretty easy to understand if you speak the other ones. And then after I graduated from college, I realized, oh, the hottest chicks on earth are Greek and Swedish. So I started learning some of that as well.
Did that help your cause at all, or?
Heck yeah, man.
Right on. Wow, good to know. Awesome. So, you're so
nothing to do with deck building. Sorry.
No, it's cool. No, that's the thing. It doesn't matter what we talk about. It's just talking and getting to know you and your backstory. We are gonna condense it a little bit because I know we're crunched on time. But so you got your degree, and you're out of college. Congratulations, you graduated. What happens after that?
I started a company. Didn't go so well. Got really sick of having 60 plus employees that were just punching in, punching out, wasting my time, wasting money, lost a ton of money and was putting in crazy hours. Ran into somebody who is now a really good friend of mine. He asked me to go work for his bank, which was a bank, a previous generation bank for him. So I was in banking for almost a decade. I really didn't like that at all. Made a ton of money. Didn't like how it started to feel gross when. I left that right as the housing market was crashing in late 2005. Everyone calls it 2006, but it was December 2005 that the housing market started to really crash. I read the analytics on a daily basis and knew exactly when things were going to happen. Scapegoats were put in place, and I didn't want to be part of what felt super gross. The only way that I would ever go back to banking is if I really, 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 really needed the money. But I'm not so I can't be bought. I don't want to go back to that. I left and I handed my practice to friends of mine who are ethical dudes who are still in banking. I left that, and I thought that the only way that I'd ever be able to teach is if I had a PhD. And there was a charter school in New Hampshire, which is currently New Hampshire's greatest school. And they were looking for a math teacher. So I taught calculus and algebra 2 and taught physics and honors physics and then nutrition and a few other things while I was there. 8 classes per day, 8 periods, and everyone taught 5 subjects. And I said, this is a waste of my time. I want to teach 8. So I taught 8. I just had all my stuff planned out ahead of time and taught 8 per day. And as that was winding down, when things were starting to get super woke, I'm like, all right, I'm out. And I left and helped a buddy of mine. So I started.
Around what time was that? You said 2005? 2006?
Yeah, so I I let my banking license lapse in 2011, I believe it is, and that's the last time that I wrote anything. I think it was 2011. And then I left and started my adventure gear design company. And then
tell us about that. Tell us about that.
So nobody in my family fits like off the rack stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I've broken my neck once and my back twice. So certain things touching me in a certain place are very bad news. So I started by just building frames for modifying existing gear, but I don't have the same torso and the same frame that a lot of people do. So I started just designing it and building it myself. So I have 9 sewing machines, and I just make my own stuff.
Cool.
But a buddy of mine needed help with his construction company, and I decided to leave teaching when it started to get too woke. And this was like 2011 or 2012, I think it was. Like you couldn't say, like if somebody effed up on something and somebody broke something, you couldn't say man up and just call yourself out, do the right thing. No, you couldn't say man up. You had to say person up or something else like that. I'm like, F that. I mean,
yeah,
go
I get
yourself. Man up is an expression.
Right. Be responsible.
I'm like,
as a human.
Right thing. Yeah.
Yeah. Come on now.
So I saw the writing on the wall. When that happened, I saw the writing on the wall. I'm like, dude. So I'm censoring myself as hard as I can right now.
Thank you. It's better for Calvin for editing if you do. But hey, say what you want.
So I'm like, I can't teach anymore because I'm gonna just say shit that's gonna. I don't want lawsuits, and I don't
it's gonna
want
get
kids
you in
to get
trouble.
Pissed off. I'm leaving. So at the bottom of every test I ever gave the kids, the last page at the bottom, the final thing had a perforation across the bottom of the page, and it said, "How can I be a better teacher for you?" And they were supposed to cut it off and submit that, separately. So that it was always anonymous. The day that... So I knew that my kids worked harder for me than they worked for most teachers. Mm-hmm. So I didn't want them to know that in May, I knew that I was not coming back the next year. Mm-hmm. And then at the end of a science fair, the aerospace instructor called me up and asked me to address the parents and the students, and I would tell them every weekend, if you have your homework done, find your neighbor, find somebody who needs help them with something, and have a great weekend. So he called me up and asked me to address the students. And he's the one who spilled the beans. 3 weeks before finals.
Oh, no.
And that caused a lot of students to be disenfranchised. Oh, we're not going to work for Mr. Haney anymore because he's not going to be here. He's bailing on us, or whatever they were feeling.
Yeah. That's rough.
So that really bummed me out.
Yeah.
So the last test that one of my students ever wrote down how I can be a better teacher for him was, please don't leave us.
Oof. Rough. That's tough, man. Yeah. Wow.
So, but
yeah,
I had to leave. I left. I helped a buddy of mine with his construction company. Went from he and one guy, and then it was he and one guy plus me. That guy OD'd a couple of months later, and by the time that I left a few years later, he had 9 employees. And the jobs were just getting further and further and further from my house, or further and further from where I lived. Mm-hmm. So I bought my house, and as the impending job was going to be an hour and a half each direction from my house. It's a regularly framed dodecahedron, but it was only 9-sided. So like chop off sides, make something straight, but it was regular. It was a regular decagon, but it was only a nanogon because 2 sides were straight across. It's gonna be an hour 45 away, and one of my 3 pugs needed spine surgery, and I couldn't be away that long. I had just gotten divorced. We
had talked about this
divorce.
I remember this story. Yeah.
So Mike, I'm not going with you, man. I can help any way that I can help, but Farley, Rachel, and Winifred need me, and Farley's having spine surgery. So I just posted on Facebook before all 3 of my accounts were stolen. One of them I got back. 2 of them I got back temporarily, and then were stolen for my adventure gear company and for Haney Construction. Haney Construction still is like a Chuck Norris tribute site or a video game site or something. I can't get that back on Facebook. I've tried. So I just posted, at some point, Vikings got to set their own sails, and this Viking's ready to sail. And the woman who answered the phone when I called the school when they had a job opening for teaching math, she immediately said, "Kev, can you come do this?" And I just took every freaking thing that I could. And Mary, I will always do everything I can for Mary. She was my intro to teaching, and she was my intro to owning my own construction company. Sorry, man, I've had a lot of head injuries. I've had a lot of concussions. I cry easily.
We don't judge, man. Hey,
you're a real man for that.
We got emotional. We've gotten emotional on this. Me and John Lee had a moment a while back, and it's all good.
I
man.
also don't care if anybody wants to try to judge me. And John Lee is one of my favorite people that I've ever met in my entire freaking life. I freaking love John Lee.
Yep. Very spiritual guy. And we had a moment because we had a moment before this podcast, and then we were talking about it in our bonus episode. And yeah, man, it got real. So that's okay, Kevin, because we're not gonna. There's no judgment here at all.
I think you're really true to yourself if you can do that.
Judge me, man. Somebody want to try to like hate crime me for?
No, man.
No.
I don't care, man. No. Good luck.
Oh, brother. You know what? All you'd have to do is go like this on top of their head, and they'd die. It wouldn't even be a fair fight,
man.
Have
an axe? Because you're a Viking, man?
So, studio man, Cal, I have a ton of axes. I also have a Mjolnir.
That's what I wanted to hear, man.
I made a Mjolnir for a Halloween costume. I made one out of English ash. It's engraved and everything. I made that back. So Halloween is my favorite holiday. So I go pretty hard in the paint on Halloween. And 1 year I decided I was going to be Thor for Halloween in 2 years. So I grew my hair for a couple of years and sewed the outfit and made Mjolnir, Thor's hammer, or Mjolnir, but Mjolnir, made that. Yeah. So yes, I do have one of those, and I will not use it to hit anything because it's wooden. But it looks like the movie prop, except I can lift it because I'm worthy of lifting it.
Right.
But yes, I do have, I think, maybe 9 or 10 or 11 axes, and
that was my one question I really wanted to know.
Hatchets, but how does that have anything to do with anything?
Well, okay, so we have a member of our family who's really into Vikings, and she's going to be excited to watch this or listen to this podcast. And I think that there's just certain things that she may want to know, and she's not here to ask. So
Calvin, I don't have a bearded axe yet. I did buy a few axes that I was planning on. So I blacksmith, which is why my beard is so short. At almost every single time that I have my forge going, my beard gets shorter. So I bought a couple of axes that I could turn into bearded axes rather than just forging the head from raw. So Cal, if you're asking if I have a bearded axe, I don't have those yet.
My wife has this symbol tattooed.
Oh, dude, that's right there.
There you go. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
She also has that same symbol on a necklace I got her, and she gets more compliments on that than anything.
Cool.
So that's
well, let's talk. Her name's Wiara, and she really likes you.
Everyone likes me, man.
Yeah, you're likable. You're a likable guy.
I'm a nice boy.
Yes. So can we talk about your heritage a little bit? Because I think that's very interesting.
We can talk about anything you want, Jay.
I think this is gonna go into another podcast. We're gonna run out of time today, but I want to at least set the foundation today. Let's set the foundation, and then we'll decide where we're gonna navigate this, and maybe depending on some of the comments, might do part 2 or something like that with you.
So we're setting this foundation with helical piles?
No. Well, I mean, that's a good way to set the foundation.
I was going to go in that direction, but you beat me to it.
But really, I mean...
Your boy's smart, man. Your boy's really smart.
I know, he is. The only reason this is a duel, the reason you and I are talking is because of him. So I wouldn't be able to... I don't have the bandwidth for this.
Okay, the reason that we're talking now, yes, because your son is a tech genius.
Yeah.
The reason that we're talking in the first place is because you build effing kick-ass shit, and I was a super fanboy before we ever met in person, and then when we met in person, we hit it off. And
it was hilarious because I had no idea who you were, what your name was, or anything. And you walk up to me like you've known me for 10 years. And it was just a really warm feeling. And I'm looking at this dude, this massive dude with this really long beard that's braided and really, really unique look. But I still didn't know anything about you, your beliefs, your religion, or anything else. I mean, it's really interesting to me as I get to know you better, to hear your backstory, and I think a lot of people would be interested in that as well. But this podcast is about you, and we can discuss whatever you do or don't want. We don't have to talk about what you don't want to discuss. So I appreciate your openness though with us today so far.
Doc, there's nothing you can ask me that I won't answer.
Sure. Have you ever been arrested?
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Okay.
What the every
never
guest so far
convicted.
Okay. Well, did you have to spend a night in jail, or did you get out on your own recognizance? Oh, good for you.
One time I was picking up beer bottles, beer caps, and beer cans at my fraternity house, and I was picking those up and putting them into a barrel, and a couple of cops walked up, and as I picked something up off the ground, they said, "You have an open container."
Oh, jeez.
Like I don't have an open container. I'm cleaning stuff up. By the way, you don't have authorization to be on this property. This is private property. So it ended up being like 3 hours plus that I had to go hang out, somewhere when I was supposed to be on site watching the back door and the side door, and I was just trying to tidy up the property.
Yeah, you were probably a really good bouncer, I bet.
I did an okay job.
I'm sure you did. Holy cow. That is awesome. Okay, so though I just, one day it came out of my mouth, and Calvin and I are both really surprised at how many people actually have been arrested.
Not just arrested, like they, what's the word, convicted, but not sentenced or something? They didn't actually go to jail.
So Calvin, you're gonna get a kick out of this, buddy. They asked me to take a plea for having an open container, and I said no. I want to go to trial. When it finally went to trial, we went back and forth, and the prosecutor wanted to settle on, as long as you don't have the same offense again as a minor, because I was 20 years old when this happened. As I'm picking up empties at the fraternity house, putting them into recycling. So they came back and forth the fourth or fifth time, and my attorney kept saying, "Oh, take that." I'm like, no, I didn't break any freaking laws. No way I'm going to take a plea saying that I did anything wrong. The final offer was, as long as you don't have the same offense again, this will be expunged from your record. This happened in November. My birthday is the winter solstice, December 21st. Finally went to trial in April. I was 21. I could never, ever be able to commit the same offense by having an open container and underage possession. So that was the one. It was underage possession of an alcoholic container. Mm-hmm. So like, it's technically impossible for me to ever have this one again. So when they offered that one, I told my attorney, "Yep, we'll take that."
Yeah, let's take that one. The one that doesn't make any sense whatsoever.
And then when I said yes to that, the judge looked at it, shook his head, looked at the prosecutor, and said, "What are you doing? You're wasting my time."
Right.
Walked out. Like, and my attorney said, "How the hell did you figure that out?" Like, because I didn't break any laws, and also I'm smarter than that stupid prosecutor. So
yeah, you should be an attorney too. You should have got a license in law.
Be an attorney, man.
Yeah, I got it. The slime ball stuff that you were dealing with.
I do love it.
The banking. Yeah, that's a good story though, man. Cool.
Anyway, so yeah, I have been arrested, and I have not broken laws, and I don't have a record. But okay. I feel like a lot of people have been arrested and didn't actually do shit. And some people did do stuff and then have changed their ways. But no, tell me about your handcuffs, Jason.
Well, Calvin has a question for you. And
go ahead, yeah.
We're gonna go ahead and
up against the wall.
Yeah, we're just kind of getting to that point where he needs to ask you a question, and then I have another question, and then we'll go from there.
The question I wanted to ask you is, doing this podcast, I've noticed a decline in the trades. Everyone has either said it separately without asking or agrees. So my question to you is, what's one piece of advice that you would give to either someone starting out or someone curious about getting into the trades to get where you're at, or just to start getting through life in that area?
All right, Calvin, that's an awesome question. I actually gotten a heap ton of crap when I was still teaching because I had a student who asked me, like, they all had devices. They were able to look up our backgrounds, and when I was teaching, he looked me up, discovered what I had done in banking and in real estate, and said, "Mr. Haney, I want to be a commercial real estate broker. I want to own a ton of properties, and this is what I want to do. I don't want to go to college. I'm only finishing high school because my mother insists that I do. How do I get to there?" I hooked up with a friend of mine who is a real estate broker. He didn't even have a license yet. He rode his bicycle some days, and some days Dan would pick him up and bring him to his office. He's now a super successful commercial real estate broker. He has 7 employees. It might be 6, might be 7. But he has tons of real estate. Figure out what you need to know to do what you need to do. You don't have to go to college. I went to college forever. I never wanted to stop learning, and I still never will stop learning. You don't have to go to college to learn what you want to do. Consider that when most colleges are going to spend $50,000 to $250,000 per year to go to school, you delay your entry into the job market by 4+ years. Versus if you go into a trade, if whether it's commercial, electrical, plumbing, HVAC, whatever, after 4 years, you're getting paid the whole time. After 4 years, you have a journeyman or possibly a master's in that. You've been paid the whole time, and you graduate with no debt because you've apprenticed the whole time, or go to work as a laborer for a builder and learn. Do you love this? If you think that you want to be a baker, volunteer or go work for a baker and decide, do you like getting up at 3 a.m. to make freaking rolls and donuts and whatever else you have to do? Do that. You don't have to go to college to learn that. There are certain parts of the trades where you do need to know stuff. It really freaking helps that I know a lot of stuff about electrical and electrical engineering and structural things. That helps significantly. However, I didn't have to go to college or engineering school for any of that. I would encourage anybody to try out things. Go apprentice for as many places as you can and figure out what you actually have a love for before you before you go to school for anything, because you may not end up using that schooling for anything other than how to write something better, or or how to defer your student loans because you just borrowed $500,000 for some that you're not going to use.
I think that's some super solid advice right there, and very good answer to the question, Kevin, because
by the way, Jason, I am super pro education.
Cool. No, and sometimes hands-on education is where it's at. You know, seeing how the whole process, regardless of what it is that you're doing, to be able to experience that from, like you said, just like the baker, from A to Z, you know, including the getting up in the morning, all that stuff, you know. So definitely something to think about.
Find your passion, man. Find your passion. You're not going to be happy if you're not doing what you love.
Yeah. Ain't that the truth? Ain't that the truth?
By the way, if you do get into deck building, knee pads, man. Knee pads from day one. Knee pads. Day one. Knee pads.
Get some of those block water gel.
I don't care how good your knees are. Yep. Dude, so you rock the block with block ladders. Yep. I rock 1620. 1620.
Something good.
Peace and love, Massachusetts-based company. everything made in America. But knee pads, man, I've had my left knee rebuilt twice when I was 18. You can never fix a knee.
No, I've worn knee pads since I've been about 25 years old. But I wear them religiously every single day. So that's definitely super solid advice. Oh, where are we going?
Can you see that?
No, not yet. See a pant leg. Oh, yep. Oh, okay. So you got the inserts in. Good deal.
Ready for this podcast?
Yeah, man. Way to be.
Dude. Calvin, I told you guys earlier, I'm going to look like a wet pug coming out of the bath. I came in from the outside. I still have saws and drills and a bunch of stuff to pick up when this is done. I'm wearing like workwear.
We're gonna wrap this pretty quick. So, Kev, is there anything that you want to say to our audience? Or anything else, for that matter, that you haven't been able to talk about? Or is there anything on your mind you want to discuss, or so on and so forth? It's going to give you an open forum here before we conclude.
Okay. Do your own research. Don't trust manufacturer specifications on anything. Test products yourself. Learn everything that you possibly can. Go everywhere, do everything. Go to every show. The best show on earth is JLC in Providence, Rhode Island. At the bare minimum, if you're too far from Providence, Rhode Island, get to Deck Expo. They're both awesome. Learn everything you can. Read everything you can. The internet is free. Get on there. Don't stop learning. And also, when you have some super ambition and the money to do so, take the master class, man.
Oh yeah, the master class.
Learn how to bend some stuff, because bending boards is cool as crap.
Deckboard bending.
I've bent a few boards, not nearly as many as the fella in black. But
you know what, brother? We did some at JLC live in Providence, and we were just making some art. And that video, it was the best performing video I had in a month. It was really popular.
Yeah, there's a short on YouTube that did pretty well. If you go look, it's called like Bending Decking with a Viking or something.
Yeah, man. I noticed that Viking doesn't show up until you scroll. I did see that for some reason, because I see so many of your dad's videos, watch so much of his stuff. It popped up in my feed. Those two pieces of art are at my house right now.
Oh, that's right. You kept those. Cool.
When we were breaking down the booths, the people who wanted to take those took off, and I could barely walk, man. I could barely walk. My knees and my back were effing destroyed. Like, this is the first time that Doc and I have bent boards together.
Mm-hmm.
I can make these myself anytime that I want to. This is the first time that Doc and I have bent boards together. Not the first time I've bent boards. It won't be the last time. But I grabbed those and I got them to my truck, and they're at my house right now.
Nice.
Sitting at my shop.
Awesome. Love it. Well, hey, bro, we're out of time. And I know you got to go out and finish up for the day. This is going to be a part 2, because I still want to talk about your Viking heritage, that I'm actually talking to a real live Viking right now. It's very cool. And Kevin Haney, thank you so much for being on our podcast. Calvin,
very much.
Hit that music. Let's go. Thanks for listening. If you like this podcast, don't forget to hit the subscribe button, or you can go to YouTube and watch it, or you can also go to our Patreon channel, and we're going to upload another bonus episode to Patreon with Kevin Haney, the Handsome Viking, almost messed it up, THV, and we will get to that hopefully soon. But Kevin, before I do, please finish the deck you're building so that you can take down your level of stress a little, and then we'll get you back on here when you have a little bit more time and we have a good internet connection.
Yo, Doc, I'll get this done as soon as possible. The homeowner's awesome. His 3 daughters are amazing ladies. They deserve to have this. Single dad of 3.
Nice.
One of the coolest things that I've ever seen in my entire career. I came downstairs from the guest quarters a couple of nights ago. The youngest daughter took her beanbag out. I think it's called like a yogi ball or yogi bow, whatever, and put it on the star in the center of the center section of the deck, and was laying there and was watching the stars, looking up at the sky.
How cool is that?
And the homeowner told me about that. Like, dude, that's one of the coolest things I've ever heard.
So, do you have the inlay done on the star? I know, we gotta go. We gotta go, man.
Perfect, man.
You're gonna have to wait. Everything else has gotta wait.
Flawless.
Kevin, but you need to
under a 30-second. Later.
Okay.
Do what you have to do.
Much love, brother.
I'll dance for you.